What are we at, Jared?
All right, so we're sitting around 125, 126, which is right where we want to be. So we're going to take this thing out. We're going to crank that temperature up.
All right, guys, welcome back. See you out there. We went fishing this morning. We had an awesome time. We have a video we're going to edit for you guys here pretty soon. But we have something even more fun going to happen today. We have special guests. We have Jared Powell coming over. He is freaking Grill Master Flex. This dude is the master of the barbecue grill. He's going to come over and cook us a meal, and he's going to take over the show for a little while. So we're going to introduce Jared Powell and his wife, Misty.
How are y'all? No pressure, right, on the Grill Master Flex. So we're going to do our best to do a little cooking today. I've got a Pichana style steak that we picked up from Stone Cold Meats in League City, Texas. Beautiful piece of meat. Y'all going to get to see that. We're going to prep it, cut it up. Salt, pepper, garlic, all going on that thing. And we're also making our first pass at paella, which is a Spanish dish of seafood and rice combination. And we also have some sausage we're going to throw in and duck breast. It's going to be like a Gulf Coast style paella, which we're very excited about. Never done it before, so we're going to see how it goes. I'm sure it's not going to be true to tradition, so if you're into that, probably not for you. But we're going to do our best, and we're going to have some fun along the way. All right, we're just getting here with all our groceries. We're going to unload everything and get it ready. Most important thing, when you're cooking on the grill, do any kind of cookout, any red meat that you get directly home from the butcher, go ahead and take it out, cut it out of the package, cut it up, prep it, whatever you're going to do. Season the bad boy, set it off over to the side. And that way, the salt, the pepper, the seasoning, go ahead and start doing its thing, start curing on the meat. And as you pay attention to that thing going forward, you'll see it kind of drying out. We can take some shots of that later. But we're going to go ahead and cut this bad boy up and season it up and set it off over the sides while we get everything else ready. Second most important thing after you get home from the butcher shop or your grocery store and you're cooking on a Saturday, get that mixed drink in. Get it relaxed, get the music going, drinking. This is all about having a good time, right? That's why we come out here and cook, we have friends over, we have a good time. There's no need that it needs to be labor intensive. So have a good time, mix your drink, whatever your choice of poison. Today, it's margaritas. I'm gonna go and put tequila in first. And don't judge me.
What'd you say, don't judge you? Is that one margarita, JP, or is that a mix for?
So this is gonna last at least 10 to 15 minutes.
At least 10 to 15 minutes. JP's a big boy, so he can make big margaritas.
And if you're cooking in Southeast Texas, you can't get away with not having the Come and Take It Yeti.
Look at this.
Alright guys, we got the Pichana ready. We got that thing all juiced up and ready to go. JP's got it ready to go. We got the grill sitting at about 275, which was the requested temperature from the chef here. So we're going to get this thing on there, get it rocking and rolling.
Alright, so what you have to know about the Pichana meat is there's a thick layer of fat, almost like a brisket, has fat on there. You've got an inch, quarter inch in some spots in the swall, a full inch of just nothing but fat down there. So when we're putting this thing, we're putting it on direct heat at 275, 300, which is fine. And we're gonna put it fat side down just to protect the meat a little bit. So that can sear, nice good sear on there. And we're gonna do what is a reverse sear method. A lot of people do it with steaks, it's very common. We're gonna do it a little bit low right here, 275, 300, and we're gonna keep a temperature probe in there. And when that thing gets to about 125, we're gonna take it off, we're gonna open everything up, we're gonna let this green egg get up to about 500 degrees, 600 degrees, doesn't take them long. And then we're gonna throw it back on there and we're gonna burn everything. We're gonna do that sear. And that sear just makes everything a nice good crust, and we're gonna cut that thing up. It's gonna be a perfect medium rare. It's gonna be a beautiful piece of steak.
Perfect. All right, guys, let's see what happens.
I'm just gonna feed my fish.
All right, guys, here's some ingredients for Jared's paella. Here's his little piccata, his little seasoned meat. Jared's gonna explain to us exactly what a paella is. And then we're gonna get rock and rolling on this thing.
All right.
Jared Powell, talk to us, baby.
So paella, sorry, it's a Spanish dish made out on the Mediterranean. It's a seafood dish, right? So they throw in mussels, they throw in shrimp, they throw in fish, clams, kind of the whole thing. And it's traditionally cooked over open fire. And they have a big pan, whatever. We don't have all that stuff. We're just, we're making do with what we got. So what we have today is Gulf Coast shrimp. We have stone crab claws, which I just found out recently actually are native to the Gulf Coast, Galveston Bay. And we have some of these mussels here that are not native. But oysters in a paella doesn't really work well because we're going to throw the whole shell in and everything, and those oysters are just way too dirty. So onions, tomatoes, bell pepper. We have a long grain white rice. And I've never done this before, but I've cooked a lot of jambalaya down here, right? So I'm basically cooking this thing like I do normal jambalaya, but instead of sausage and crawfish and whatever your typical kunas recipes, I'm gonna throw in seafood stuff and we're gonna see how it turns out. So we have our stone crab claws and our mussels, and I've got them in stainless bowls here in the sink. We're washing them. It's very important to get everything clean because everything's going in one pot with rice, and so if you don't clean everything right, you're gonna have saltwater taste, you're gonna have dirt, you're gonna have grime, you're gonna have all that that's mixing in that the rice is gonna absorb. Whatever flavors you have in your pot when you throw the rice in is what the rice will taste like. So we have some cold water in here, and we're gonna just kind of agitate them around, and I have some lemon juice. So I'm gonna take the lemon juice, I'm gonna squirt it in there. This is an old Jamaican trick when they make fish head soup. And they squirt it in there, and it just makes everything taste fresh and clean. It also helps clean, and it's not gonna add any flavor to the meat itself. It's more or less just to get the dirt, the grime, the grit, the fishy taste off of the shells themselves. And you're gonna take it, you're just gonna agitate, run it around, let it sit and soak, dump it, and do this 2 or 3 times, and your water should be good to go, and your mussels, your crab legs, anything you have that has kind of that outer shell will have a clean taste. Alright, so here's what we got. We just put our stick of butter in. We're about to start sauteing vegetables. We're gonna do our onions and our bell pepper first. Alright, so we got our butter in. This is gonna be the start of our paella. So we're gonna saute our vegetables first. We got minced garlic, we have diced up our onions, we diced up our bell pepper. We're gonna get it in there, we're gonna cook all that stuff down. After that, we'll start throwing in our meat. Red meat goes first. We're gonna put our sausage, we'll put our duck breast, we'll get all in there, get cooked up, and then we start throwing in our seafood. Seafood's gonna be the last thing to go in. We get everything in there, get it boiling, get it bubbling, it'll be nice and crisp. And then after that, we'll throw in a little bit of chicken, what do you call it? What do you call it? I don't know. What's the...
Bouillon.
Bouillon. We're gonna throw in some bouillon.
Yay!
And we'll throw that in there, let it come to a boil, throw our rice in, cover it, and we're done. Should be beautiful. So we got our duck breast in there, we got our sausage in there, we got our crab claws in there. We're letting the crab kind of simmer, cook in there. I'm about to add in tomatoes. I've got tomato sauce, and we're just gonna keep this thing boiling, going. Pretty soon we're gonna add our mussels, and our shrimp are gonna be the last thing. This is gonna take the easiest to cook. Crab takes the longest. You want the red meat in there first, and looking good. I know y'all can't smell anything, but my goodness, if you could smell what these crab claws are smelling like right now. Have you ever been to Joe's Crab Shack on a Tuesday night when it's half off margaritas? You're getting pretty close. This stuff is smelling really good right now. Can't wait to see what it looks like.
All right, JP's about to check the panzanilla. What the heck you call that thing, brother?
Pichana.
Pichana. He's about to check the pichana. Look at this.
Smoke coming out of that joker.
Look at the...
Clear out. We got an old school temp gauge in there. About to check and see what it looks like. Look at that sear. Hold on, hold on. Alright, that thing's sitting about 112 degrees right now. We're wanting it to get up to about 125. So we got a little bit more to go. And this joker's gonna come out perfect. Alright, so sausage is done, duck breast is done, the crabs are going to continue to cook while we're in there. So I'm going to throw in our clams, I'm going to throw in our shrimp. Those are the last things to go in. It's not going to take long to cook these things, but you have to remember, we've got about a 25-30 minute period. We're putting in, what is it, 4 cups of rice in here. We've got about 8 to 10 people eating. So we're going to throw in a bunch of rice. We're going to throw in our chicken bouillon, and that's going to continue to cook. So while that cooks, everything else is going to continue, right? So we're going to throw in our shrimp. We're going to throw in our clams.
That looks so money, JP. Holy cow.
We're running out of pot, which is all right. I'd rather have not enough pot than not enough food. So we got our shrimp, we got our mussels in there. We're just going to put the lid back on and let those steam for a little while, and it's not going to go very long. We're going to throw in our chicken bouillon on there and let it come up to a boil, and then once it comes up to a boil, we're going to put our rice in there, put our lid on. 25 minutes, 30 minutes, we're going to be done. We're going to eat this thing. It's going to be great.
All right, Jared, what we got?
All right, so we got our pan jam-packed here full of protein. We've got our mussels, we got our shrimp, we got our crab claws, we got our duck breast, we got our deer sausage, onions, vegetables, bell peppers. Beautiful, beautiful dish. It smells so amazing. I can't even explain. It smells really good. So we're gonna see if we can fit our last little bit of juice in here, fit our rice in here, stuff it all in there, throw the lid on, let her simmer out, and see if we can't eat this thing here in a little bit.
So what's in the pan, Jared?
In the pan,
in your bowl there.
in the bowl. So this is just water and chicken bouillon. I'll show you here in a second, Mexican style, right? This is a Spanish dish, so we're trying to keep true to our sense here. We left a little bit of a room to put our rice, and
so that's just chicken stock and chicken flavoring, basically.
here you go. Caldo con sabor de pollo. I'm the worst Mexican ever, sorry.
Perfect Spanish.
Chicken flavored bouillon. The ingredients are in Spanish, so you know it's the real deal. This is the stuff. I've got 3 scoops of that, 3 scoops of the tomato paste. Put them in 6 cups of water. That's what just went in. Delicious.
What are we at, Jared?
All right, so we're sitting around 125, 126, which is right where we want to be. So we're going to take this thing out. We're going to crank that temperature up. We're going to put the sear on it. You can see that little bit of that's the fat side. Looking good, isn't it?
Looks really good. Now we're going to crank the temperature up to 500.
That's right.
We're going to open it all the way up. Crank this thing up to 500. Put a reverse sear on it. So these green eggs, you open up all the vents. You let the airflow in here, and these guys will get freaking nuclear hot in a matter of minutes. So we're going to let this thing start to ramp up. Once we get to 500, we'll put it back on there. You're live.
All right, so it's been about, what do you think, 3 minutes, somewhere around there?
Yeah, it's been
I
no
think
time
we're
at all.
500, we're climbing, 525,
Oh,
we'll be 550 here in a minute. So we're gonna take this thing, we're gonna go fat side down first. We're gonna let it sit for about a minute, 20 minute, 30 seconds. We're gonna take it, we'll flip it over on the other side, minute. Don't let it sit long on that other side. And we're gonna pull it off. It's real quick, real fast. You're just trying to get the sear right here.
So this is the reverse sear, JP?
This is the reverse sear. Fat side going down. And this is gonna stay open the whole time. I got a little juice left over in my pot from when we pulled it off. I'm gonna pour it over top of there. Bingo, look at there.
That's beautiful.
We'll do the same thing. I got a little left in there. We're gonna do the same thing. And flip it over the other side. The whole point of this is just to get that crust on the outside of the meat. Get it crisp, get it crusty. And the experts say it seals it and it keeps the juices inside. I don't know. I thought there's a lot of juice sitting in this pan right now, so we'll see how it happens. But regardless, the open flame makes a good crust on the outside of the meat, especially on that fat side. It burns it. And I don't know about you, but I like a little burnt fat. Alright, we're going to flip this thing. We're going to go to the other side. Look at that little dark crisp. Perfect, beautiful. Look at that fat sizzling on top of there. Beautiful sight. I'm going to pour a little fat on there.
That is a thing of beauty, my friend.
This side we're going to go a little bit less. We're going to do just about a minute. Look at all that fat piled up in the middle of this pocket right here. Beautiful, beautiful. This is going to be a good piece of meat.
So the trick is to crust the outside, render some of the fat, and then you're trying to keep an internal temperature medium rare. Is that what I get?
Yeah, 130, between 130 and 134, somewhere around there. Be perfect medium rare the whole way through. That's what we're aiming for.
Oh, and this is, what region is this from? What country?
So I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it's Argentina or Brazilian. If you go to a Brazilian steakhouse, Fogo de Chao or somewhere like that, and they bring over the skewers, and you see a big fat cap and it's bent over like a horseshoe, that's the picanha. They cut that picanha up, they cook it a little bit differently. I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing off. See if I can get a hold of it. Not burning my hands off. There we go. They cook it a little bit differently on those skewers. This is more of a, I guess you can say Texas style reverse sear, just salt, pepper, garlic, real heavy smoke, and that's how we do it here. So this is my take on it. But if traditionally they put it on those skewers, they look like little horseshoes, and they cook it, you know, a whole steak, kind of up and down on those skewers, and they cook them and they shave it off to your table side. If you've ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse, you know what I'm talking about.
Fine looking work, Jared. Yeah.
All right, guys, so our picanha has been sitting for about 10 or 15 minutes since we've taken it off. It's very important, big cut of beefs like this, even steaks, you have to let the meat rest, you have to let it sit. What happens when you cook is everything gets tight and everything goes to the middle, right? And when you let it rest, what they talk about that, it relaxes and all the juices spread back out throughout the meat. So if you cut a piece of steak on your plate, you go to a nice restaurant, you go to somebody's house and you cut a piece of steak, and by the time you get done, there's juices all over the plate. That's not an indication of a good steak. Indication of a good steak is you cut it, you have a little bit of juice left because the juice stayed in the meat. How you get that is you let the meat rest. So we've rested for about 10 to 15 minutes. Another big cut of meat like this, it's important to cut against the grain. Now I'm looking at this thing, the grain's running this way, right along here. So I'm gonna start at this edge, and we're gonna start our cut, and we're gonna see what we ended up with. So this is the end. It's going to be a little more done than when we get the middle, but it's looking pretty good so far. So you have that fat cap. Now this is what that cross grain gets you. Looks like that piece of brisket. Oh yeah, here it comes.
That looks perfect.
Look at all that juice in there. Perfect, perfect. A little more overdone than what you would typically want, but this is going to be great for what we're doing today. First time cooking it, I'm not upset. We didn't ruin this piece of meat. Now there's that fat cap on there, and you're just going to eat that with it, and that's going to be where all the flavor's at. But you can see how tender that thing is. If you're doing the brisket test, falling apart, it's not quite the same thing because we didn't cook it so long, but it's still pretty good. We're gonna give it a taste, see what we ended up with.
Yeah, it's good.
Pretty good.
Let me get a chunk of that.
Try it out.
Oh man, that's a good cut of meat. Nice job, dude. That's really good.
Look at that blood on there. It's good.
Huge deal. This stuff is so good.
Alright, here we go with this rice. I can't tell y'all how unbelievable this thing smells. This smells so stinking good. We're gonna see if we can't make this work with our rice. We got a little bit too much in there, but it's okay. You'd rather have a little too much than not enough. We're just gonna have to work this in to the bottom of the pot. Let it sit and simmer and boil. Put this lid on. You're talking 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes max.
You're just gonna stir that all in and let it keep simmering?
Yeah, we're gonna stir this in. Look at all these crab legs, they're looking good. Don't forget, there's duck breast down there. There's sausage down there. We threw that stick of butter in at the beginning.
So we need to throw the flounder in there.
We did not throw flounder in there, but now's the time. You can throw flounder in there still. That's something that's gonna cook quick.
If you guys want fresh caught flounder from today's video in the paella, comment down below. All right, you guys ask and you shall receive. Fresh caught flounder from the day. Corey caught that guy. It'll be on the video we put out later. Chopped up, going in.
Talk this into it. This is gonna be great. Again, we got about 25-30 minutes. It's not gonna take long to get this stuff cooked, but I'm gonna show you one more thing before we put the lid on this. Water's boiling, seasoned up, duck fat, sausage. That sausage got a little pork in it, right? So we've got our chicken flavor, we got our tomatoes, we got our spices, just salt, pepper, garlic. That's all that's in here, guys. Salt, pepper, garlic, that's it.
Stone crabs, fresh shrimp, fresh flounder, deer sausage, mussels.
Little bone, we got it out. All right, look, here's very important. Anytime you're doing a big pot like this, and you just put a big chunk of rice in there, go ahead and taste your juice right here. It's delicious. Whatever it tastes like, that's what your rice is gonna come out as, right? So, tomatoey, it's got seafood flavor, it's got the beef flavor from there, the pork flavor from the sausage, excuse me. You've got everything in there, tomatoes, onions, garlic. It tastes very good, but whatever that juice tastes like is what your rice is gonna end up tasting like. In a pot like this, that's the majority of your dish, right? That's the majority of what people are gonna be eating is rice. So it's very important to make sure you taste that, add anything at that time, and a little bit of water. If it's too salty, if it's too, too much onion flavor or something like that, you add a little bit of water and dilute it. But right now, this one's perfect. All right, we're done, boys. Look at this thing. So I'm gonna take it off. Final review. Look at that rice. I'm telling you, if you can smell this thing, it's so stinking good. So, get my little spoon here. So we have our rice done. We got our mussels in there. We got our duck breast. We got our rock crab claws. It looks freaking delicious.
Deer sausage, fresh flounder,
fresh flounders,
mussels, flounder, shrimp, stone crabs, deer sausage, rice.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
We're gonna pour some up in this in these bowls to get to eating. I'll let you know how it is. This looks freaking good.
All right, Jonathan, give it a try. Jonathan's gonna give paella a try. Jonathan's never had paella.
I'm gonna start with a shrimp.
What do you think, brother? How'd JP do? Is he Grill Master Flex?
Big papa pump.
Awesome.
Do this muscle. Off the muscle.
Muscle for the muscle.
I'm trying to be delicate.
Yeah, don't be delicate. Just get in there, brother. Fancy? Bougie?
With etiquette. I have etiquette. Come on TV.
What do you think, brother? Yeah, it's money? Awesome.
Only thing about this is cocaine.
Maybe you want to give it a try?
Corey?
Yeah.
All right, one last taste test, and we're out. I can edit this down too.
Okay.
All right, baby. Gulf Coast Paella by JP.
Am I gonna compare this to my mom's paella?
Oh,
No,
please don't.
absolutely not.
No.
Please
Absolutely not.
JP.
Is it good? Yeah.
Really, really good
Oh.
seafood. Yeah.
Awesome. You got
Pretty
Corey's
good.
seal of approval. You're in
Pretty
there.
good.
All right. Awesome. All right, guys. There you have it. Seafood paella.
Seafood paella. Hold on. Where's
Some kind of grilled panzanilla or something.
All right.
Seafood paella.
My goodness. That's it.
grilled-
Hey, so like I said, it's not very traditional. I don't know how it came out. That's my take on it. I saw it on a TV show one time, and here we are. I don't know. It smells great, looks great, tastes great. Enjoy it. Leave your comments, questions below. Salt, pepper, garlic. That's all we used. Enjoy. Love it. Come and take it. Taxes, baby.
Come over here. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you again. See you
See you
out
out
there.
there.